but he's obviously at the hospital with me, and I could be literally dead because my medical
Yeah.
records that there was a moment or period of time that I was in such a bad state
Can I
and
ask you a
almost
quick
died.
question? So,
Yeah,
if we go back to after the rape happened, and then
yeah,
I'm assuming you went through some bitterness and these things, right?
yes, I did.
So,
Yeah.
do you think there is a direct correlation, not just for your situation, but just in general? When we have like unforgiveness, it can potentially even cause diseases and make things even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm telling you honestly, in my understanding, and for the past so many years, I see God is using my story for
yeah,
forgiveness as well. You know how I learned forgiveness? Forgiveness is the moment I went back to church, the pastor tell me about I need to say the forgiveness prayer with them and in front of God. And I kneel down, and then the moment I repent, recognize, first of all, I recognize I was a sinner. I have sinned, and I recognize I have sinned. And I find it difficult to forgive the man who
yeah.
raped
Of
me
course,
at that night.
it's very hard to forgive
Yeah.
if you were, say, abused when you were like 5 by someone who was like, 16 or older.
Even people these days, they said they are so easily to get offended. I'm telling you from my
Yeah,
own experience, so I'm not even say if I got offended from a church member who are accusing me of doing which I didn't do, or say the word like who ordained you to do ministry. Sometimes people can just be
yeah,
mean, and I find it hard to forgive even though they are
yeah,
Christians. And then I find it very difficult, almost impossible, to forgive the man who raped me. So that takes time, but I kneel down in front of God. I recognize I am a sinner. I acknowledge that Jesus forgive my sin. And I learn by God's grace, not my own, to forgive the man who raped me, including the people who trespass in my life. And when I did that, I tell you, a spiritual healing is like something go through here, all the way from my shoulder, my back, and to the back. And I felt spiritual healing all from head to toe, and I feel lighter when I did the forgiveness
Can I
through
read a
God's
Bible verse
grace.
that's
Because
very relevant? Redemption. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, slander, along with every form of malice.
yeah,
Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ God forgave you. Forgiveness.
did you see the
Yeah.
last part?
Oh,
Just as if Christ has forgiven you. In fact, God has forgiven us from the very beginning. He loved us that much that it's like if we do something wrong, we just say, Lord, I'm sorry, and then move on. But you got to truly
yeah.
repent. That's how, this is me,
I've
how
got a
I
first
operate.
song
If I do something,
called
I
Repent.
feel, I just, Lord, sorry. And then I repent and I'm sorry. And then if I actually, yeah, and then I just move on because it doesn't grab hold of
Guys, if
me.
you want to
You
listen
got to
to
move on.
Swale's music, Repent, I've got a whole song where I talk about this. I go like, help me, Lord, I need to repent
Wow.
again and again and again.